Hey guys, it's me, Caitlin, and welcome to this month's training video. So last month we actually talked about how to work on show nerves and how to get those a little bit more under control. So this month I thought it would be helpful to talk about ways to improve your scores at a show. So, this can go for, pattern classes, row classes, whatever. But first things first is you want to know what kind of maneuvers they're going to be asking for during your pattern or in your flat class. Sometimes they want different maneuvers like extended trot, sitting trot, turn on the haunches, side pass, whatnot. So make sure you know what you're going to be asked to do ahead of time and you practice that at home. That's super important. And that leads me to number 2, which is if you do have a pattern, try not to practice the entire pattern, verbatim. Practice pieces of the pattern. Otherwise, your horse could possibly start to anticipate and kind of do things on their own, and that we don't want. That's not to say that I don't, on occasion, practice the full pattern, but I don't drill it like every day leading up to the show. I might do it the day before or a couple of days before, but then I won't do it again. So try not to keep doing the same pattern over and over and over again. Number 3 is to give yourself enough time at the horse show to look at the arena, look at your pattern, and see where you're gonna do each of your maneuvers. So a lot of times the patterns aren't going to have cones, they're not going to have markers, so you kind of have to pick your own markers out, whether it be a fence post, a tree, the bleachers, but kind of give yourself an idea of where you're going to do each of your maneuvers, change of gait, all that sort of stuff ahead of time, so then when you go in for your class, you know where everything is going to play out. And then when you do actually go in for your class, make sure you're using your entire arena. Like, don't cut the corners. Use the entire space that they allow you to use, because that's going to make your pattern a lot prettier looking, it's going to give you more time in between maneuvers to make things very correct and give yourself enough time to get prepared for the next one. And then another huge one is just breathe. Again, going back to that, getting kind of nervous and tense, the more we hold our breath, the more tense we're going to get. That's going to feed into our horse and make them tense, which is going to make your pattern look not as pretty as it could. So just breathe and go in there and ride like you do at home. Most of the time we can practice a lot better at home, but that's because there aren't other people watching. We don't have those nerves. So try to just pretend like you're riding at your arena at home, and that can help take away some of that tenseness and making yourself and your horse a little bit more nervous than they need to be. And lastly, take a minute before you go in for your class or your pattern and kind of visualize in your head, your pattern, what you want everything to look like. Visualize it, and kind of talk yourself through the pattern in your head. What you're going to do when you ask your horse for each maneuver, what kind of cues you're going to give your horse, where you're going to do them, and just visualize that whole pattern. And just be aware that, mistakes are probably going to happen, but you can't get hung up on them, because it's going to, that one little mistake, if you hold that against yourself, it's probably going to add more mistakes on your next couple maneuvers. So, if you make a mistake, just let it be and try to do better on the next one, so then you can at least get points for that next maneuver, instead of kind of carrying that with you through the rest of the pattern. Just let it go. Horse shows are a reason to kind of challenge ourselves and do better on the next one. So you know, take that mistake as a learning experience and say, okay, on the next pattern or next horse show, I'm going to do better at this. We're going to work on it at home. So hopefully those help you add some pretty easy, simple points to your next show or pattern or whatnot. And if you have any additional questions, feel free to let me know and I'll be happy to answer them for you. And thanks for watching.